With the All-Star game a week from today, every team has played around 90 games, so it's time for mid-season grades. This isn't just based on record, it's also based on expectation. So a team overperforming with a 500 record is going to get a better grade than a team underperforming with the same record. Let's start with the teams getting an A+, and end with the teams earning that F. These records are as of Saturday, July 6. I actually have one team that's getting an A++, the Cleveland Guardians. If you told me Shane Bieber would be gone and Tristan McKenzie would be a non-factor, I would have never expected this team to be 23 games over 500. Steven Kwan's as good as ever, Josh Naylor's playing great, and Jose Ramirez is top 3 MVP. Plus, they have by far the best bullpen in the majors. This was supposed to be an 80-win team, and they're on pace for 102. I have 3 other A+, and the Brewers are getting the next one. For a team that took a few steps back over the offseason, they were only projected for 78 wins. But all year, they've been the class of the NL Central. Everyone else is so bunched up, but they've set themselves apart in a 94-win pace, top 10 in offense and pitching. The next A+ goes to the Orioles. They improved from their A after the first month, surging in the first place, carried by the best offense in the major leagues. And their pitching isn't bad either, that's top 5. They're now on pace to exceed their record from last year on a 102-win pace. The last A+ goes to the Phillies, also improving over their A after April, and they're like the Orioles, but the opposite. Their offense is top 5, but they have the #1 pitching staff. They were supposed to be good this year, but in the past, they have a slow start and a strong finish. This year, they're just going to try and be strong from start to finish, and they have baseball's best record and on pace for 106 wins. I have 3 A's, starting with the Royals. They got an A after April also, and they have regressed some, but this team was only projected for 75 wins, and they're on an 85-win pace. Still on the verge of the playoffs, and that's a huge victory after last year's 106-loss season. They're also top half in baseball in pitching and hitting. The Yankees also keep their A. They've been strong all year, but they've been very rocky of late. But the bottom line is, they're 19 games over 500 and still set to win 98 games. Aaron Judge and Juan Soto are leading the #2 offense in baseball, and even without Garrett Cole's help, they're #6 in pitching. The last 3 weeks aside, they still look great going forward. The last A goes to the Red Sox. I only gave them a B- after April, but this team is suddenly hot. They were projected to win 78 games, and they're on pace for 88, playing 8 games over 500. Currently, the #6 playoff seed. Their offense being above average and riding that #7 pitching staff. I don't know if they can sustain this, but that team is getting better. My one and only A- goes to the Dodgers. The same grade they got last time, but not much has changed. Still top 4 in offense and pitching, still on pace for 99 wins. Currently playing 20 games over 500, but for a super team supposed to win 104 games, they're not quite living up to it. Still, they're running away with the NL West. They're setting themselves up for another playoff run, so I think an A- fits. I have 2 B+, starting with the Twins. This team was set to win 87 games and they're on pace for 91, so they are on pace to be better than last year's team. They have the Guardians to deal with, but they are currently the #5 seed in the playoffs. Their offense has been great, #4 in baseball, but it seems like they miss Sonny Gray. Their pitching is down at #20. The other B+ goes to the Mariners. This jump from a C+ after April. They were able to separate themselves in the AL West. At one point, they had a 10-game lead. As of Saturday, that's down to 2 games, going from 13 games over 500 to 7 games. And even though they're top 3 in pitching, if their offense does anything, they'll be in good shape. Right now, they're bottom 4 in the league. I have 2 B-, and the first one goes to the Braves. I gave them an A after April, and they've taken a step back. They lost Spencer Strider and Ronald Acuna. Some guys are underperforming, and it's just weird to see that offense in the middle of the pack. Although their pitching has been excellent, #2 in baseball. They were projected for 102 wins, on pace for 89. The other B- goes to their division rival, the Nationals. Same grade as last time. This team was not supposed to be good. Only projected for 66 wins, and they're on pace for 76. Still not playoff worthy, but they're getting better. About mid-tier in offense and pitching. Only 5 games under 500, and you gotta imagine, this young team is only gonna get better in the second half. I have 2 C+, and the first one goes to the Padres. This is a slight upgrade from the C they got in April, playing one step above the other NL West wildcard contenders. Currently 5 games over 500 and 85-win pace, one better than their preseason projection. This team lost a lot, but also gained a lot in the offseason, and I think they're holding their own. The other C+ goes to the Cardinals. They have improved from last time. They had a C-, but they've pushed their record to 4 games over 500, currently right behind the Padres in the wildcard race and holding on to the 6th spot. This team was horrible last year, but were projected to win 85 this year, and they're on pace for exactly that. I never thought their pitching would outperform their offense, but their staff is mid-tier. Their offense is 7th worst in baseball. I have 2 C's, and the first one goes to the Mets. They were right around 500 when I gave them a C+ in April, and since then, they had a terrible May and then a very good June, all to end up right around 500 again. They were projected for 82, they're on pace for 80, but after a hot June, maybe they can sustain that and make a playoff run. For now, perfectly average. My other C goes to the Pirates, moving up half a grade from April, lingering 4 games under 500 and staying in the mix, projected for 76 and on pace for 77. This is another young team that may just get better as we go along, especially with as good as Paul Skeens has been. He's helping the number 12 pitching overcome the number 22 offense. I have 5 C minuses, and we'll start with the Rays. They've played almost back up to 500, still 5 games behind the projection, and if they can get hot and make the playoffs, that would be amazing, considering they're bottom 10 in both offense and pitching. They're hanging around and might be able to strike. The Reds also get a C-, my pick to win the NL Central, only projected for 82 wins but still not living up to that, on pace for 76. They haven't been impressive at any point this season, but on a good note, their pitching is borderline top 10. That's a huge victory and was a point of focus over the offseason, considering last year they were 25th. The next C- goes to the Giants. They made some big offseason moves. A lot of people had them in the playoffs, but it hasn't worked out. Their offense has been mid-tier, but their pitching has been awful, number 25 in baseball. They were projected for 84 wins and just seem to be lingering around 500, currently on a 79-win pace. Staying in the NL West, the Diamondbacks also get a C-. Their projection was about the same as the Giants, and they've been stuck with the Giants all season. They're a game under 500, 5 games behind their projection, having a top 7 offense, but currently the second worst pitching in baseball. That's embarrassing, especially because before the season started, I said this team had the best rotation in all of baseball. That is, when everyone's healthy. The last C- goes to the Astros, probably the hardest team to grade. They got an F to start the season, but they've turned that around and are 3 games over 500, just 2 games out of first place. So, since May 9th, they're 34-19, but overall 46-43. So this team that was supposed to win 94 games is on pace for 84, but you have to imagine they'll finish with close to 90. I have 4 Ds, the Oakland A's getting the first one. This team had nothing going for them, and they were playing around 500 in April. I gave them an A-, but they had a terrible May and a worse June. And suddenly, this team projected for 58 wins is only on pace for 61. The A's are who we thought they were. The Tigers also get a D, down from the B I gave them in April. They seem to be living up to the promise from the end of last year, but they've taken a nosedive. Now, 7 games under 500, supposed to win 81 and on pace for 75. Their pitching has been decent, led by Tarek Skubal, but their 20th ranked offense isn't cutting it. The next D goes to the Angels, up from a D- in April, and this team doesn't do anything well, bottom 10 across the board, projected for 73 and on pace for 68, another lost season for the Angels. The last D goes to the Rockies. After April, they were 7-22 and got an F. Then, they got hot in May, finished over 500, then went back to sucking in June. Still, because of their good May, I brought them from an F to a D, a 61 win projection, now on pace for 58. No surprise, their pitching is dead last. If you think they still deserve an F, I would not argue with you. I have 3 D-, and the first one goes to the Cubs. They were looking strong after April. I gave them a B+, but since then, they've been the most disappointing team in baseball, projected for 85. Now, 8 games under 500 and on pace for 74. Their pitching has been top half, but their bottom 10 offense needs to wake up. The next D- goes to the champs, the Rangers. They had a C, and now they're borderline F, projected for 89, on pace for 75. Slightly below average in pitching and hitting, but still sitting 7 games under 500. All that being said, still a dangerous team in the second half. The last D- goes to the Blue Jays, 9 games under 500, on the verge of selling their best players, projected for 87 and on pace for 73, 24th in pitching and 26th in offense. Neither of those stats even seem possible. They made the playoffs last year with a number 16 offense and number 4 pitching. I have 2 Fs, and the first one goes to the Marlins. Same grade as last time, it's just a lost season. Bottom 5 in pitching, second worst offense. This playoff team was supposed to win 79 games and are only on pace for 56. My final F goes to the White Sox. Again, same as in April, projected to lose 100 games and are blowing past that. Now on pace for 116 losses. Bottom 4 in pitching and last place in offense. If they're not careful, they could actually make a run at the 1962 Mets as the worst team ever. So there you go, every team's midseason grade. Let me know what you think, if you agree or disagree, and what grade you would give your favorite team, or any team. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, and if you're new here and love baseball content, please give me a sub. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.